Well, it's been a while, but most of you probably remember that the lights behind me being turned to green mean one thing. Some Miami players are entering the transfer portal, and one of them you're not going to be happy about. What's going on, Canes fans? I always do my best to try to cover all the players leaving and entering through the transfer portal. So if that's something that you would like to stay up to date with, hit that subscribe button. There are 3 players so far that have officially announced that they will be entering the transfer portal once it opens on December 9th. There is also a player that has announced that he's going to stay at Miami and finish his last season here, but more on him at the end of the video. The first player to hit the portal for Miami is quarterback Reese Poffenbarger. He previously played 2 seasons with Albany where he had great stats, over 6,600 passing yards and 60 touchdowns. There was even lots of debates going on during spring football if he should be QB number 2. But the competition level stepped up a bit once he arrived at Miami, and either way, no backup quarterback saw significant snaps this season behind Cam Ward. Now, Poffenbarger did get some playing time against FAMU. He totaled 6 completions for 20 yards and 5 carries for 12 yards. So not a big impact on the field on game day, but hopefully he was able to learn some things, improve his skills a little bit, and hopefully somebody picks the guy up. I was more of a Emory Williams QB2 kind of guy, multiple years in the system. But as we just said, Cam Ward was the guy. Miami wasn't blowing a lot of teams out once they got to ACC play, so it just didn't provide a lot of opportunities for significant snaps for the backup quarterbacks. But I'm thankful that he added some depth and he will have 1 year of eligibility remaining. Next up hitting the portal is former 4-star offensive lineman Antonio Tripp Jr. Tripp was part of Cristobal's 2023 class and he came from IMG. He picked Miami over Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Michigan, just to name a few. He did see a little playing time in 2024, but it was only as a reserve in 2 games, so he saw very limited snaps. Tripp will have 3 years of eligibility remaining, and he put an official statement out on Twitter. I try to take a look at these if the player has put out an official statement by the time we record the video. And he said, "After much thought and prayer, I have decided to enter my name into the transfer portal with 3 years of eligibility. Tremendous amount of love and respect for everyone at Miami. This has been a great opportunity and experience for the past 2 years." Next up is the final player hitting the portal in this video, and it's the one that hurts the most for me personally, and that's running back Chris Johnson Jr. That's right, the CFB 25 legend. So many people would line this guy up at wide receiver in the video game and just get the ball in his hands, and he was taking it to the house. He is fast. This guy is speed, and he was actually one of the fastest prospects available back in the 2023 class. He was ranked as the 11th best running back in that class, and he had a ton of potential. Again, we talk about how fast Chris Johnson is. He was the kind of guy that every time he had the ball, you would hold your breath because you felt like there was a chance that he was going to take it to the house. But realistically, during his 2 years at Miami, he only saw 17 carries, which totaled for 104 yards and just 1 touchdown. He did also see some snaps on special teams at kick return and maybe even punt return at times, but definitely kick return. And that's really where it ends with him. Was mostly a special teams player. And a lot of Miami fans are just going to be left wondering what could have been. I don't know if it's something to where he just couldn't crack the rotation given the backs that were here. Miami continued to bring in transfer portal guys. You had guys like Henry Parrish and Martinez. Plus, it's hard to get ahead of guys like Mark Fletcher. And then you even saw Jordan Lyle come in, the young guy, and get snaps over Chris Johnson. So maybe he just wasn't quite a fit for Shannon Dawson's offense. Whatever it may be, It is going to hurt a little bit because we're Miami. We like fast guys. But it seems as though maybe he just wasn't good enough, or you might be in the camp that thinks that they just didn't properly utilize this guy. Definitely sound off in the comments and let me know with him, because that's the big name in this video everyone's going to be talking about. And people seem to be split a bit. I know that a lot of people are going to bring up Gerard Pringle, the running back coming in. I know that's the shiny new toy. I like that guy a lot. But I am a big fan of experience as well. So let me know what you think about it. But Chris Johnson will have 3 years of eligibility remaining. I also want to make note that Miami has extended an offer to an offensive lineman, 6'8", 340-pound offensive tackle from Liberty, Xavier Gray. Gray started the last 2 seasons at right tackle and was part of the 2019 class out of the state of Ohio. And I mean, this one's pretty simple, right? I can throw up some stats and things, but it's a 6'8" guy. Everybody wants a 6'8" guy. And depending on who you ask, some people have him listed at 6'9". This offer does, however, have Canes fans wondering if this means that someone else on the team on the offensive line, you probably know who I'm hinting at, maybe you do, might be entering the portal somewhat soon here in the future, but time will tell. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll see. And to wrap this thing up, cornerback Dione Hill has announced that he will be returning for his final season and staying at Miami. I always mess up the first name, Dione Hill. We're going to go with Hill, the cornerback. He transferred in from Marshall in the last portal cycle, and he did start in 5 games this season where he totaled 27 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass deflection. So that is a guy announcing he's going to stay. He's not going to go to the NFL or try to go to the NFL. He's not going to enter the portal. He's going to stay here at Miami. So 3 total players officially announcing their departure: Reese Poffenbarger, Antonio Tripp, and Chris Johnson. Miami going to start, sending out some offers to some of these guys. There's definitely talks of various different quarterbacks that are putting their names in the portal. And this is going to be an exciting portal season. We know that there's a chance here with Miami hovering around that 14th spot with the current class with 2025 that it might be a more portal-heavy class. That might be where Miami tends to spend more of their money. So we'll see. There's going to be tons of update videos coming out. At one point last year, we were doing 1 or 2 of these per day, every single day, doing live streams, doing wish lists, and I anticipate more of that happening this season. So stay tuned, make sure that you're subscribed, and let me know your thoughts, man. Like Reese Poffenbarger, not a surprise. Antonio Tripp, not a surprise. And most will actually say that Chris Johnson is not a surprise. And I agree with that. I'm not shocked. This is a guy that even just purely with his speed alone is not enough to win you a starting role. We know that. But there are plenty of schools that he could go start, somewhere where they need running backs, because this running back room is pretty deep, especially with who they have coming in and who's going to still be here next year. So it's hard to, fight for playing time, and this guy believes he can go start somewhere else, and I think that he probably will. Let's be real. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.